you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Very excited to be here today to introduce Perfect Day. We're the biotech company that's making real dairy without cows. So who are we? We were founded in 2014 in Berkeley, California by the gentleman here in the middle of this picture, Ryan and Puramal. And we are now a team that's just over 200 strong. As you can probably guess, this photo was taken pre-COVID, and I'd say that about 90% of the people in this photograph are scientists, which really reflects the fact that the first 4 or 5 years of our journey was focused on building a world-leading technology platform in precision fermentation. Since this photo, there's been a lot of change at Perfect Day. We opened our second R&D facility in India. We're working on our third over in Singapore. We closed our Series C and D funding rounds, taking the total capital that we've raised to $750 million. And we've also launched into market the world's first products using animal-free dairy, which taste delicious. And everything that we do is really guided by our North Star, our mission and our vision. And our vision is to strengthen the food system, to make it more sustainable, to make it more resilient. And our approach to this, which I think sets us apart a little bit from maybe some other companies in the space, is that we want to change the process of how food is made without changing the food. And we're going to start with the dairy aisle, but we have plans to go beyond that. I'm not going to drain this slide too much because I think increasingly the challenges with today's food system are well documented and well understood. But when you look at it, clearly end-to-end food system, including agriculture, packaging, transportation, refrigeration, accounts for a large proportion of total global emissions every year. And when you drill into it, animal agriculture for meat and dairy is the most significant component, generating more emissions than all of transportation globally, using half of all land on Earth, using a quarter of all fresh water annually. And this is only forecast to increase with about an 80% projected increase in demand by 2050 for products from animal agriculture. So I guess the question is, what do we do about it? Because ignoring this situation clearly isn't an option. And I guess there's really two options. We could all go vegan. And for those of you that are vegan or have tried it, we'll know it's easier said than done. Or the other option is we find a new way. And that's really what we've been focusing on at Perfect Day. And I've got a short video now to play, which introduces what we hope will be an important contribution to solving some of these challenges. So clearly it's going to take many different solutions to tackle the challenges that we're facing, but we really believe animal-free dairy can be an important and significant contribution. But I'm sure you're asking yourselves, like, how do you make real dairy without a single cow? And the key is fermentation. So similar to how people have been brewing beer for centuries, making wine, and more recently, using fermentation to make vitamins and medicines like antibiotics, that's what we're using to make animal-free dairy. And really, what we do is we replace the cow with microflora, which is very similar to a type of yeast. And we train this microflora to become very, very good at making dairy proteins. We then feed the microflora simple plant-based inputs, and in the fermentation tanks, the microflora convert the plant inputs into high quality, nutritious dairy proteins, which we filter, we spray dry, and we're now making hundreds of tons of animal-free dairy protein using this process without a single animal involved. And by replacing the cow, we can produce dairy proteins at a fraction of the impact. So a recent independent LCA assessment found that our whey protein, compared to traditional animal protein, reduces water consumption by up to 99%, greenhouse gas emissions by up to 97%, and energy use by up to 60%. And we call this internally better dairy, not just because of the sustainability benefits, but there's also a number of other benefits that come with our protein, with animal-free proteins. You get the same, dairy deliciousness, high functionality, high quality nutrition that you'd expect from animal dairy, which you don't always get with, plant-based alternatives. And because we're very precise about the proteins that we want to manufacture, we're also able to avoid some of the things that sometimes come along for the ride in animal dairy, like hormones, lactose, cholesterol. And clearly it's vegan friendly with no animals involved in the process. So lots of benefits against which to innovate with consumers. And here are just some of the examples of the products that are either in scale manufacturing over in the US now using animal-free dairy, or are in development with partners to launch in the next 6 to 12 months. And I've tried all of these, and I have to say they're fantastic, and very, very, very difficult to tell the difference between products with animal dairy. I think it's fair to say that we're only just scratching the surface, and really dairy is so functional, it's so nutritious, it's delicious, and therefore when you look across a supermarket, it's not a surprise that you find dairy creeping into pretty much every aisle, and dairy's growing, and it's projected to hit $1 trillion of market value by 2024. So the opportunity for us is huge. And I guess the question that we were faced with was, when you've got such a big opportunity and such a big challenge, how do you organize yourselves to have maximum impact? And we've done this by organizing around 3 business units. The first is our Scalable Bio Foundry, which is our state-of-the-art pilot facilities over in the US. And this is where we're partnering with other companies interested in leveraging our technology and our IP in order to scale their businesses and have a positive sustainability impact. The second business unit is our B2B ingredients division. And this is where we're working with big food companies to transition from animal dairy to animal-free dairy. And we're finding really that CPGs are very hungry for this innovation because they're setting themselves very aggressive sustainability targets, but also they want to innovate to keep up with shifting consumer trends. And then our third business unit is our consumer division, which is the Urgent Company. And this is where we're launching disruptive brands to market to really act as a beacon for this new category, and to raise awareness with consumers and with retailers and with new potential partners. So I'm now, with the last couple of minutes, wanting to just give you a flavor of some of the products that we've launched into market in the last 12 months in the US. Our first animal-free dairy product to market was Brave Robot ice cream. And we originally anticipated that this might be a 200-store test in California. And within 6 months, it was in over 5,000 stores nationwide, which I think really gives you a sense of how retailers have responded. But it's not just retailers who've responded positively to our innovation. But when you look at some of the consumer reactions, it's clear to see that we're playing into a real need and a real tension out there for people. In line with our mission to have as great as impact as possible, we've also launched with branded partners like Graeter's, which is a 150-year-old heritage brand in the US from the Midwest. And we've also launched with Nix, which is a much newer and emerging Swedish ice cream company. And we're also in discussion with launching with new partners in the ice cream category in the coming year. We've also launched into cream cheese, and for those of you that have tried some of the plant-based options out there, can probably vouch that sometimes they can be a little bit disappointing versus real dairy cream cheese. So we've just in the last couple of months launched Modern Kitchen, which tastes brilliant and is just rolling out in stores as we speak. And at the same time, we've partnered with General Mills on a new brand called Bold Culture, which is just landing in market. And we're very excited to see how that proposition plays out over the coming months.